which validated what I saw when I was, because that cloud got, I'm talking at least 10, 20 times the size it was. I ain't never seen a cloud grow. Anybody here ever seen a cloud grow? Get 10, 20 times its size? All right? I ain't never seen it. So, and after that, the Dogon did the Hittite ceremony. Correct me if I'm wrong. July 23rd, 1994. I know it was in 1994, but I think it was July 23rd, right? On the helical rising of the Nile. Right. So, and the Dogon said then that the old cycle was over. He said, this doorway is closed. So in essence, when we get back to that, when this cycle completes again, when we get back here next year, it's going to be a whole new cycle in effect. So on July 23rd, 1995, it was a whole new vibration in the planet. Whole new vibration in the planet. And see, let me say this, because after I got off the mounds, you know, I was in close contact with Bobby Hemmett. And I used to call Bobby, and Bobby like, yo, Bobby be like, meditate at such and such and such a time, we supposed to be getting some juice. And me and my wife be meditating, we be like, ooh, ooh, I feel it, I feel it. So we started getting these series, we were meditating at certain times, and started getting these series of energy jolts. So, so in 1994, I received, I think about 2, maybe 3. Then 1995 got here. See, 94, and people tell me, hey, you should have been keeping a journal, man. You should have been keeping a journal for what? That's why I can't remember. 2 to 3 times. 1995 got here, and it was 3 times, but with greater intensity. All right, and I say when I say like things like it'll be things like say like for 2 days straight. Okay, you gotta understand your root chakra is in your testicles, well, or your should I say your organs, your sexual organs. For like I would get like for 2 days. I don't know if you ever had jock itch, but testicles be on fire. Like, oh! And then I'd be like, I call a few people. Yo, Joe, your testicles itching. You know, in terms of, I'm talking about people in the consciousness. Like I would call Bobby, then have my cousin, and be like, and like, yeah, I felt, you know, or it would be this part of your head right here be itching 2 or 3 days straight. Damn, what they itching? Okay, these types. Okay, 1996 got here, and it was 4 times. Intensity was much more increased. The last two series of jolts. The last 2. The third one. Is it the third one? The third one was the one that had me for 3 days. I was out. Meaning I had so much pain in my head. Every time and see, now let me also say I've been developing my brain too. I use more than 10% of my brain. As a matter of fact, I know I'm using 37% of my brain. Okay? I built a magnetic helmet to develop my brain. I'm not going to be satisfied until I can use 100% of my brain. That's the type of individual I am. I want to use about 4 capabilities. So the third one, I had this massive head pain. So wherever I move my head like this, the throb would just go to that part of my brain. I can feel it. See, I can feel my brain. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but I can feel and squeeze my brain. I can manipulate my brain. And then the last one, and this is key. The last one in 1996, last year. It happened on the December 21st, solstice. But not only that, and the see thing about it is the stuff will start happening to me. Then I go out and look around in my environment, like the moon and this, and they'd be like, oh, that, oh, start figuring out. It was the damn universe that was doing this shit to me. Full moon. Full moon on the 25th. Last full moon on Christmas to the year 2000. And for 6 days, 6 days. The first 3 days, I was incapacitated, couldn't get out of the bed because the pain in my head, once again, was so damn intense. I'm not going to try to, move. The first 3 days was the head. I mean, it was very painful, very painful. 3 days, head. And then the next 3 days, my back. It was so much pain in my back. My back hurt so damn bad. I just laid down for 3 days. It was that. So it was painful. Now, 1997 got here, and right before we had 4 jolts, energy things, by spring. Four series of jolts. Then, when the summer got here, I didn't turn that thing on, did I? Oh, yes, it is. When the summer got here, so the spring, that was what? Once a month. Right? Once a month. Once a month. Monthly. When summer got here, it went to weekly. And then when the fall, we see summer, spring, fall, yeah. We're in the fall now. Now, it's every 2 weeks now. All right? Every 2 weeks. Now, Spirit came to me and told me to tell you that the energies coming in, we're taking 97 out and bringing 1998 are going to be tremendous. And I said, oh, shit. If it was anything like this, I don't want to participate. Spirit said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That shit was painful, people. I'm telling you. And I said, if it's going to be anything like that, you have to find you somebody else. I'll be one of the dead people. So check. So I'm telling you, and see, I'm going to tell you, later on, you're going to find out why. You're going to find out because I'm going to tell you what's going on in the universe that's making this happen like this. But now I was talking with this sister, and she's powerful psychic, and she follows the Mayan galactic signatures and stuff. So she told me, first of all, I told her what Spirit had told me to tell the people. And she's like, ooh. She said, well, if you know, for the Mayan thing, they say from 1997 to 1997 or 6? Let me see. Because that now to be 10 years. That's 10 years. Okay. The energies, well, now you got to understand Armageddon, so-called, started in 85. The energies have been tenfold from I was right, 1997, 1998 to 2007, it says that the energies are going to be what? 100-fold. So that's what the Spirit was trying to tell me. You see what I'm saying? The energy is getting ready to kick some ass around here now. And either you get your shit straight and start becoming a student of self, or that which was in you going to burn your ass up. Now, let me say this. I remember it was about a month ago. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. About a month ago. What had happened? this was after. Now let me say in these 2 weeks, let me say in the last, we're almost at the end of November. So I'm gonna take you, cause see what happens is it hits for 2 weeks, then it's almost like a 2-week hiatus, and then it hits for 2 more weeks. So I'm going back. Let's see. We're here now. Bam, bam. So let's go back. It was 2 more. I'm gonna give you what happened to me 2 times. And I'm gonna give you 2 last. In this part right here, I got this burning ass sensation in my chest. And this was like I had the monster indigestion. And it was like, whoa, this shit tearing me up. And I started doing some of my higher technique breathing exercises to try to cool it out, but to no ado. Then later on in the 2 weeks, what I began to notice was like when I started doing I have internal breathing. You got internal muscles, and we teach you how to tap in and use your internal muscles to pump your stuff up. So using my throat muscle, I started taking the energy, the knot of energy that was in my chest, and just suck it up. And next thing I know, all of this from here down to here started getting hot. Hot. I could feel this knot of energy that was hot right here. When I used my breathing exercise, I just taking that warmth and flowing it. Do all my stuff. Then, right here, so this was about 3 weeks ago. I was getting so hot. I was burning up. I felt like I was getting ready to experience spontaneous human combustion. Getting so hot, it was uncomfortable. I was queasy. And I'm like, oh my God, what I got to do? Spirit said, lie down and meditate. And Spirit said, the only way you're going to be able to feel comfortable with these energies start hitting is all the energy, you sucking up all that energy around you now. You have to shut down and assimilate the energy. If you're not going to sit down and meditate, you're going to have a lot of discomfort. You got to have to spend more time. See, it's like, and see, the thing about it is when I first started, let me say, from 93 to 95, I spent thousands of hours meditating, spending 4 to 6 hours daily meditating. And it was, as I progressed up different spiritual progressions, and I would go to where, maybe an hour of eye-closed meditation, then do hour eye-open meditation, then go, laying on my crystals and put on my hat, my magnetic helmet, then go into my Tai Chi's. So it was a series, I'd like to say, being a spiritual athlete, okay? Then it got to the point where I just, altogether, since I can feel my energy all the time and see energy all the time, I really stopped closing my eyes and meditating. What's the use of, what was the use of that? The whole point of closing your eyes is to heighten your other senses. So I can see everything and feel all my energies and manipulate my chakras. So, from 95 to 96, I had really stopped closing my eyes and meditating. Up to the point now where I got to go back and do to the basics. And go in and go back to basics and do closed eye meditation again. So that's how intense the energies are getting. Energy is getting you so damn intense, you got to go back to basics. That's what I'm going to tell you that for. So now check. Let's get ready to get into the El Nino and its connection to the higher dimensions. All right? So you got to understand now, anything you set your mind to do, in the next 3 or 4 months, the energy, you're going to have so much energy to manifest your will on whatever you set your mind to do. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's going to be magnified. So that means that if you're looking for, spiritual development, just a personal development, or, whatever. The time is right. I'm telling you. So you can just see from that. That the frequency of the planet is increasing, right? If it means an individual can feel I'm in tune with the cosmos. I understand the galactic cycles, cosmic cycles, okay? So you see how these energy jolts have been hitting me, and now I'm telling you they're having every 2 weekly, frequencies increasing. Frequencies increasing, okay? Now, so now we understand that the El Nino means, which is the beginning of a metamorphosis. El meaning God or Christ. Niño, little boy or little one. Christed one. So as the South Americans taught the Spaniards when the Spaniards came 300-400 years ago, that it means Christed one, which they say used to use Christed one because they used to come around Christmas time, what we call Christmas. Okay? So now we have to understand that the El Nino, before we really go into that, we need to go on over the monuments on Mars. See, now we're going to get into a little planetary physics, so you can basically get a understanding of planetary physics, so you can see so you can see for yourself what the El Nino is doing. You have to understand planetary physics if you want to understand it. So now check. Now, on the monuments of Mars, essentially, this is some information that you guys familiar with Richard Hoagland? Richard Hoagland is he's an ex-NASA consultant that he was involved with when they sent, was it Viking? They sent Viking out there to tell the whole universe, that they gave a picture of a man and a woman and all this different information that it's out of the solar system now. It's gone. They did that in the 70s. He was one of the people involved in putting together the communique that was on there, okay? He's been a consultant to NASA. And he's kind of pissed off at NASA because NASA had pictures of these monuments in the 60s. They got shots of them in the 70s, and they got shots of them in the 90s. So they got 3 sets of shots of these monuments. So you got that, and then plus I think it's a book too that he got out. Well, yeah, okay. That's I checked. Monuments on Mars videotape. Get it. The 3 tape. Okay. I just seen the Monuments on Mars. But what I'm doing is going to take the information okay, you got to understand this. Modern science is finally catching up to ancient knowledge. All right? And if you watch the videotape, he gonna tell you the same thing. He said, okay. So now check. Is everybody familiar with the monuments on Mars? Okay. Briefly, let me do it like this. There's this face. Now, this face looks like the dadgum face on the Sphinx. Okay? And they took it at different angles and make sure there were no shadow projections. So they got 4 or 5 different shots of this thing. And it's a dadgum face about a mile big. Now, what they did, okay, now let me face. So this is, that's called a Cydonia. What I'm going to lay out is called a Cydonia complex on Mars. It's a series of sites. Okay, the first is the face. And what I'm going to do is show you the relationship. The first, I'm going to put down here, this is going to be the correlation of the Earth site. So the face, and down here, Sphinx. All right. Now this face, when they did photo enhancements, they say that the face look like. Now you know what the Sphinx is what? Face of a man, body of a lion, and wings of a hawk, and some other but it's mainly man and lion. Face of a man. This face right here, you know what it looks like? They say it has the photos. They say this is a hybrid of a man-lion face. Man-lion face. All right, check. That's what he tell you now. So in essence, you got to understand why the lion is, because that's going all the way back to Sirius. As a matter of fact, the Sirius in the Sirius star system. You know that the lion man, who's down with the should we say galactic humans from Sirius, all right? And he's always helped. You know, those lion mans on that planet always have helped and been down with, even though they have never been involved with none of the wars and stuff like that. But so this lion man, who's bad, who also, that's why we, you know, Line of Judah. All right, that's tapping it all into that. Going back to Sirius. So, so here we got this face. Now, the next thing is over here. You got this city. Okay, that's on Mars. And then was the corresponding? What was this? Was it the Giza? No. Okay, that's what it is. On the Giza plateau, you got the three. You know, the Orion arrangement, whatever you call it. I don't want to use the name that they use on them pyramids, but you know, you got the three pyramids. You know, three pyramids I'm talking about, right? That resemble, you look up in the sky, you can see it got the same formation, all right? You got those three pyramids, all right? Next, you got down here what they refer to as the D and M pyramid on Mars. It's a daggone pyramid. Uh-oh. All right, the D and M pyramid, and then corresponding site here is some more pyramids 2 miles away on the Giza plateau. There's some more pyramids over there. You actually got to get the video to see the layout. But these is 2 more pyramids. All right. Next is this thing over here, like such. Even I drew it backwards, but it curls the other way. But and they call it Lafolius. All right. Then there's this what they have. They call it. It's this cliff. All right. There's this cliff over here. But also next to this cliff is this man-made impression, and then there's another one over here. So okay, now check. When they took this DNA pyramid and broke it down and analyzed like all the ratios of all the angles and all the lines in it, it's about what they call mathematical constants. It's about like a list of like 7 different mathematical constants that have to do with ratios of this angle to that angle, like in essence, this angle to this angle, this angle to this angle, this edge to this edge, all these different constants, mathematical constants, all right? Now, that are in this pyramid. It's called the DNA pyramid. All these, and when we looked at it, and when we looked into it and saw all them constants, and then they mapped this out like this, they were like, damn, this thing right here got the same, all those constants right here in it. And then they took it a step further and looked at all the, looked down there on the Giza plateau and found all the same constants there too. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say? Mathematical constants are a sign of high intelligence. Check. All right. So, so this blew them away. They were like, damn. So they said, based upon that they saw all these constants, and they understood that it was a higher force involved here. So now the next thing they did is they took, they went from here and began to see in these mathematical constants that there was a relationship of E pi, where E is equal to was it E was equal to, E is equal to the square root of 3 over 2 of the ratio of some one of these sides or whatever. We don't care. We just E, all right? So E over pi. Now like, daggum, look at this E. We find this E pi ratio everywhere. On the Giza Plateau, we find it in the Mayan pyramids. We find it in Stonehenge. We find it in Sudbury Hill. We find it, in essence, all global sites, marked and unmarked. Did I say global sites? I'm talking about all these mystical sites, world wonders, okay? All these world wonders have a connection. They have a connection. Then they took it a step further, and because you got to understand, when the ancestors put up the pyramids, why did they use a pyramid? Why did they put up a line? Why did they put up a circle? Why did they put up a goddamn cube? You understand what I'm saying? Why they use a pyramid? Because, my brothers and my sisters, you got to understand, all life is geometric in nature. Light is information, okay? Geometry. From the triangle, you can get all other shapes. You put two triangles together, get a what? Four-sided figure, okay? You put them together and get a five-sided figure, six-sided figure, seven-sided figure. All the higher geometry is based upon this. So then they took, let's say, well, if you put, say, let's take a look at a planet. And put a, now see, we check. Check now. We're getting ready to go into, a pyramid is a four-sided figure. 3 sides and a bottom. It's called a tetrahedral. I don't know how to spell it right, but tetrahedral, whatever. Tetrahedral. That's supposed to be from D. Close enough. Tetrahedral. All right? Now check. They say, based upon, well, first of all, let's put us, that's going to be solid. All right? See what I'm trying to portray? I'm not a good artist, but you see what I'm trying to portray. I'm trying to inscribe a tetrahedral inside of a circle. Right? Now, they say if you describe this tetrahedral inside this circle in terms of a planet, because one thing they begin to understand is that planetary physics is based upon tetrahedrals. Tetrahedrals. And they notice that if they put a tetrahedral inside of a pyramid, a pyramid inside of a tetrahedral like this, that each one of these points, this one right here, will be a power spot. Power spot, or an energy upwelling. Energy upwelling. Now check. Then they got smart and said, wait a minute. As above, so below. All right? When they did a double tetrahedral, they began to notice let me go back, because you understand this. Also, in all these constants that they found, it was one angle that came out, and you found it every damn where. You find it on this. You find 19.5 degrees in every ancient monument. Stonehenge, the Giza Plateau, or the pyramids, the sphinxes, the pyramids down in South America, the mounds up here. You in Europe, in England, you had what's called Sudbury Hill. I don't know if you're familiar with that, which is 2 circles, this far apart, identical to this relationship you see here. It's 2 hills, and this hill right here got this right here on top of it, all the way down at an angle of what? 19.5 degrees. Check. Now, when they put this together like this, they were like, damn, one of these come out at what? 19.5 degrees. And then when they looked at it like this, then they noticed that a power spot will come up at 19.5 degrees. So essentially, now check. Let me take it a step further. Okay, now check. So you understand, 19.5 degrees is real key. If you look, this is what they started to do. Say, it's 19.5 degrees. We see it in all the monuments. They start looking at planets. And they start looking at, they say, on every flyby planet, picture of a planet, or everything they did to a planet, when they looked at a planet, they saw a disturbance at 19.5 degrees north or south. Every planet they saw here on Earth, it's that volcano in Hawaii that's been erupting for the last 65 million years. Okay? They say on Mars, if you look at Mars, they say the biggest volcano in the solar system, how they know? But they say the biggest volcano in the solar system is on Mars at 19.5 degrees north. Check? Check. So you got to understand this. What begins to happen here? Okay. Now we probably want to leave that here. You probably gonna need to get some extra copies of that tape. Now, they're gonna sell you out on the tape. That's me. All right, now check. Okay. Now let's go back to this. So this damn Star David ain't got shit to do with no Jews. It's telling you about planetary physics. That's what it is. That's what it's about. This right here existed before the planet existed. You understand what I'm trying to say? The planet is made based upon these principles. All planets are made based upon these principles. And what begins to happen is if you have an air mass. Okay, now check. So you understand each one of these points right here, you're going to find a power spot. Okay? Now, but it's also because we're talking essentially, bam, that's a tape right there. Because what we're getting ready to get into hyperdimensional physics. Hyperdimensional meaning what? Fast. Greater than the third dimension physics. Hyperdimensional physics. Okay? So now, when they took a look, when they started to put the double tetrahedral together, looked at it like, damn, don't that look familiar? That's the first thing came to mind is what? Hebrews. So what Richard Hoagland did is they went and started looking at all the ancient texts, the codices, the Vedic, all the papyri from Egypt, India, and looked at all these ancient texts to try to because what they began to see was that the tetragrammaton is in actuality the same damn thing. Tetragrammaton my grammaton. All right, check. They got these scientists now. And all these scientists do is hypothesize and theorize that if X, Y, Z was to be happening in the 4th, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, or ninth, or higher dimensions, how we know it in the third dimension? That's all they do. That's all they do. So Richard Hoagland went hooked up with them. And it was funny that they were dealing in a problem book or whatever. They had some of this same science, double tetrahedral science. Okay? So now, if you have a mass of air, this is a planet, say going in this direction at speed x, and then right above it, you have a mass, another mass of air going at the same speed x in this direction. What happens? You break all third dimensional barriers based upon double tetrahedral mathematics. You go beyond the third dimension. They say, well, how would, if you was in the third dimension, how would you know you don't broke the third dimensional barrier? Because there'd be a disturbance, a vortex, at what? At 19.5 degrees. And if you go, you look at Saturn, Jupiter, and all of them. Saturn got that big-ass red spot, which they used to, and they say, damn, that thing is still there. They used to think it was a hurricane or a tornado. And it's a damn vortex showing you it's in the high dimensions. If you look at Saturn, I left them damn papers too. I had a couple of bad pictures of planets. But next time you go, you take a look at Saturn, and you take a look at Jupiter. And this is what you'll see. You'll see layers. One going this way, one going the other way, one going this way. All these different layers. You'll see a big ass. See, check. 19.5 degrees. All right? Now you see those layers and layers, what I'm trying to show you here is the more layers you got, the higher the dimensions you go. You see what I'm saying? All right? So now, when they got to this, I checked. Now, when they got to that and they saw that, they were like, dang gum, look at all the planets. Then they looked at Saturn. They were like, oh, holy mackerel. And these, I think they're called topologists. But these so-called scientists that deal with nothing but high dimensions, they said that if you, okay, now see, that's a six-sided figure. If it was a seven-sided figure, eight-sided figure, every time you add a line in here, what would you see? They say in the third dimension, you see a shadow, another shadow. Bam, you go to Saturn, you see each one of those rings is another high dimension. You understand what I'm saying? Saturn is the key or the doorway of the solar system. It's the melanated planet. That ringing in your ear I'm talking about, you can physically, that's what Saturn's doing, but you can't hear it, but you can see it. Look at the rings. It's like the damn pineal gland of the solar system. The melanated planet. Check. Check. So when they looked back and they saw that thing, look at Saturn, they said, God damn. Each one of them is a high dimension. All right? So now, the connection between the tetragrammaton and tetrahedral mathematics is that in tetragrammaton, each one, you know, in Hebrew, each one of those is a symbol, right? Got all these symbols inside? They say they found out that each one of these symbols is a shadow of a double tetrahedral configuration. You understand what I'm saying? It is a shadow of double tetrahedral mathematics. From the higher dimensions, it represents this. You understand what I'm saying? Each of these symbols is because you got to understand, if we want to see something from the higher dimensions, all you're going to see in the third dimension is a shadow. It's a shadow. These are shadows. Okay? Each one of those tetragrammatons. So tetragrammaton is based upon double tetrahedral mathematics. Okay? Which is based upon as above, so below. So now check. If we take it a step further, I want you to look at this. Now, when Richard Hoagland went to hook up with those theoretical scientists that all they deal with is high dimensions, and I say Richard Hoagland brought him the double tetrahedral, he was like, God, they said to him, damn, they got this problem in literature that it's described as the 27 lines on the general cubic surface. All right, so let me draw us a cube here. All right. Now, so check. So when Richard Hoagland say, cause see what they got is they got this big ass book, and all this is higher science or higher theoretical postulations about if this was happening in the higher dimensions, and if that was happening in the higher dimensions, how would we see it? Okay. So one of the problems was this one right here we talk about the 27 lines of the general cubic surface. All right, so like when they took this cube and they inscribed in here a double tetrahedral. Let me get this right. No, okay, hold on. Let me do this first. So essentially what we're going to try to get you to see is in this cube you're going to have two interpenetrating tetrahedrals. Now, when we say interpenetrating, we're talking about a third dimensional. So we're trying to get that sort of effect. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I can't either. But essentially what it is, and they call this the 27 lines on the cubic surface. And essentially what it is you got these two double tetrahedrals, and you're spinning this thing, and they saying, if this thing is spinning, understanding that the double tetrahedral automatically take you into high dimensions, right? All right? Now they say, where's my thing? Okay, the shadows. I said based upon this, this is the model that they're using. They say the shadows would, if it's going into higher dimensions, they would see shadows fall out. All right. The second thing that they would see would be that a hexagon would be at hexagon at north or south pole. Okay? So now check. So based upon this problem that Richard Hoagland saw in his book, this is real key. He said, this thing, if this is in the higher dimensions, shadows will fall out. For every other line in there, another shadow. And then on top of that, it said either at the North Pole or South Pole, you're going to find a hexagon. And then when they went and looked at Saturn, bam. And they also found this at the North Pole. All right? So that's telling you that the double tetrahedral geometry is in full effect. This is how the planets work. And you see, when one air mass goes this way, and another air mass goes this way at the same speed, then you break the third dimensional barrier. So we understand that. They understood. Is everybody with me there? That's, okay. So now, what they start doing is to try to look for science. So now science is all about putting a theory together, and then based upon your science, making a prediction based upon your theory. And if you go out there and predict something and you find it, then that begins to validate your theory, right? So check. They say when Voyager flew by the last planet in the solar system, Neptune, which I didn't know, Neptune got rings on it too. The rings are just not as distinct as Saturn's. But at least from what they're showing you on the video, you'll see rings around Neptune too. And they say Neptune was emitting 3 times more energy than it receives from the sun. They say, how? See, no way possible. There's no way possible. What source is it using to amplify this energy? How can you put out more than you get back? No, put out more than you take in. So they say, but if Neptune was based upon double tetrahedral geometry, all right, then it makes sense. Because the double tetrahedral mathematics is the energy source. It's taking, so in essence, what it does, in essence, like if you can check it out on the internet now. They talk about, if you go to free energy devices, they got all these devices now. They're talking about where see, the thing about it is like your car, what you put in, you get less out than what you put in. You understand what I'm trying to say? So in essence, nothing works at 100% efficiency. You don't burn all the gas in your car. You got 20 to 30 to 40% emissions coming out that you wasted unburned fuel. So traditional science says, in terms of work, which is input plus output, you can't put more out than you're putting in. There's always going to be some degradation. Okay, what they call hysteresis. Now they got these devices where they're putting in 1, and they're getting 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 times the energy they're putting in out. And they say, wait a minute, that's not possible. All Newtonian physics would be wrong if this was the case. Okay? So what modern science is finally saying is that Newtonian physics, as we know it, is just a subset of a greater science, a greater physics, which is based upon double tetrahedral. Okay? So now, it's key that because you understand how I opened myself up was with this symbol right here, as above, so below. All right? That's my psychic grid. There's one around me, one around my house, and I got one around the planet, I got one around the solar system. You understand what I'm trying to say? I've been using this since day one to open myself up, as above, so below. It's the same damn thing. It's the same thing. The only thing, you just shifted it up. Same thing. Same thing. So I have been using double tetrahedral, and initially didn't even realize it. Okay? So now check. Let's talk about one more thing here. Let's talk about the sun. Now what they're saying is that the basic model of how the sun works is that in the center of the sun there are thermonuclear reactions. All right? Okay. So for the last 20 years, they've been looking for little nuclear particles from these thermonuclear reactions. Ain't found a one. Ain't found a one in 20 years. So they like, okay, maybe we're not right. So then lately, the Japanese and the Soviets have got some experiments where they're looking for what they call fundamental particles from the sun, meaning different type of electrons and protons. Those are fundamental particles coming off the sun. So they ain't found none of those either. So they're perplexed. So Richard Hoagland is he's making a hypothesis that maybe the sun works on double tetrahedral mathematics too. Then that would explain the fact that you don't see no thermonuclear particles. And plus we know, and I know what he's saying is it got to be double tetrahedral mathematics, because all our sun is doing is a big ass reflector. It's just reflecting rays from a greater sun, Sirius, all right, the galactic sun. So, and all it does is take those rays coming off Sirius, and with double tetrahedral mathematics, it amplifies it. All right? Check. Check. All right, so, and they say, well, how do we, you say, well, we make a theory. So we make a theory that the sun also works on double tetrahedral mathematics. Then if we go look at the sun peaks, they say the sun peaks are at what? The sun's greatest, how do you put it? Let me put it right now. The sunspots peak at what? 19.5 degrees. Okay? So we can understand that everything is working off these same principles. Now check. So now you got a clue with planetary physics. Let me show you this. Because now you understand that. It ain't gonna take you but a second to see what El Nino is doing. And the reason I know this because I saw this on Arts and Entertainment. And they put it all, and I said, oh, that's what El Nino is doing. Oh, shit. Okay. What they've done is they put buoys all in all the oceans to track the flow of the El Nino. Now, we know that the El Nino itself is causing all sorts of wreaking havoc and stuff, right? In a sense that the magnetic, because you got to understand this. A, we'll go in just a little later, magnetic field of the Earth is decreasing exponentially. All right? B, frequency of the planet is increasing. So, check. When you see birds that don't know north and south no more, all right? When you see fish, big fish, can't tell which way is deeper water and which way is land, and they end up getting beached. You understand what I'm saying? Everything, all animals have a pineal gland. The pineal gland is a magnetic organ. It is subject to the geomagnetic field, the Earth's magnetic field. So when the magnetic field starts to go erratic, the birds can't tell north and south. You see the thing on the news where they show the white guy driving the plane, taking the birds up north for the winter? No, down south for the winter. North or south for the winter. Where the hell they say they're supposed to go? You understand what I'm saying? They showed you on the news. And then they showed you, see on the news, they showed you all the damn marine animals and fish from South America where the water is warm, is way up here along California and Washington State where the water is cold. So in essence, they got these suckers, fishermen catching fish over here in California and in Washington State. That only belong in that area. They native to South America. The warm water's pushing on, so everything is just wreaking havoc now. So the El Nino, so now they like, okay, check. The jet stream goes like that. El Nino what? Goes like this. All right? And when you have double tetrahedral in effect, what's El Nino doing? Breaking the third dimensional barrier. You've been hearing me say for the last 2 years, we're fourth dimensional beings, and we don't even realize it. Ever since the end of 1980s, we've been fourth dimensional beings. All these damn shows got these psychics on them. Every time you turn TV, you can't get rid of these psychic commercials. Psychic is dealing with what? Even though we know they're fakes. But our consciousness is attenuated to it now. We're fourth dimensional beings. You can feel, earlier we were feeling our juice. Energy is what? Fourth dimension. We're fourth dimensional beings. Okay? Now, you got to understand this. What they say is that before 85, 87, El Nino used to happen what? Every 4 to 7 years. All right? And then at the end of the, then we said 80, from 88 to 90, we had El Nino, 88 to 89, it was El Nino back to back, and then 1989 to 90. So we had two El Ninos right here. So we believed. And then from 90 to, I think it was 93, they said we had back-to-back El Ninos for 3 years. But see, what they found out was that there wasn't no back-to-back El Ninos. No such thing as no back-to-back El Nino. It's an El Nino syndrome. It's a prolonged-ass El Nino. All right? So now they telling you on TV what? Look out, it's a monster El Nino coming. What? It's going to be a prolonged El Nino. You see what I'm saying? Plus, the Spirit already come and told you that the energies are increasing next year. The amplification of the energies is going to increase next year, 1998. So El Nino is the salvation of black people. It's going to open you up whether you want it to or not. Check? Check. So now, here we at now. We didn't have El Nino for a couple of years, so now we're 97? No, 98. God damn. I left a few years out of here, didn't I? I'm still thinking, I honestly think it's 95, but it's 98. I got to get used to 98 now. So 19, let's go to 97. And they talk, every 2 weeks, they talking about El Nino on the news. And when they talk about El Nino, you say, oh, El Nino, El Nino. I'm like, hell, bring it on, shit. You know? So you got to understand, that's what time it is. All right? So now once we understand what El Nino is doing, it is actually the bringer of the high dimensions. El Nino is the beginning of a metamorphosis. Meaning old shit out, talking about your programming. If you're going to survive this shit, you got to delete old programming and let your consciousness expand. Because the old programming is going to be that which kill you. Because when you sit there and try to fight what you see, that's what's going to kill you. You're not allowing your consciousness to expand. Hell, but y'all ain't got no problem with that, because you're talking to the people in video land. Because if y'all, if your consciousness was expanded, you wouldn't be listening to this shit I'm talking. Most people, I'm telling you, when I was talking about the magnets and stuff 2 or 3 years ago, they was laughing at my ass. They're going to probably laugh at you too. Check. Check. All right. So now, we understand that the El Nino itself is intricately involved in hyperdimensional physics. Okay? El Nino is involved in the hyperdimensional physics. The more, I bet if we were to take a survey and see when we had the El Ninos, those prolonged El Ninos, did the time, because you know how time is going by so damn fast, did the time seem like it was slipping faster during those years? You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm telling you now, the planet, they are doing stuff like, you got, let me start it out like this. There you go right there. I saw it in here earlier. Lion's Path. Lion's Path. Where's that book? It's right here. Grab that book right there behind you. In the Lion's Path, they break down the 27 cycles or sessions or whatever you want to call them. That everything in the cosmos got to go through. The galaxies got to go through the 27 lessons. The solar system's got to go through the 27 lessons. The planets got to go through the 27 lessons. Me and you got to go through the 27 lessons. Everything out there, all the galaxies, all the planets, all the solar systems, and to finish the damn 27 sessions. They waiting on our dumb ass here on Earth to finish the 27 sessions so we can get this whole goddamn universe up to a higher vibration. We are holding the whole goddamn universe down, people. Shit, I'm serious. But now, but the good thing about this is that in these 27 sessions, it's 3 levels. So nine levels, 9 lessons on 3 levels. The good news is we already started the lessons in the 3rd level. So shit's almost over. You know? And see, now check, because I'm going to tell you this too now. The planet's ready. Planet done got its 27 lessons out the way. Planet like, shit, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Our dumbass holding the planet back. The planet, they had to put the damn planet in a goddamn hologram to keep it from the higher, portions of the 4th dimension. We're in 4th dimensional now. We're at the bottom of the 4th dimension. The planet is ready to go to the higher portions of the 4th dimension. We should be there by the end of 1998, but they had to put the planet in something to hold it down. Because the planet's like, get them on my back, I want to get out of here. I'm ready to graduate. We're holding this shit back. So check. That's what I want to do. Like here, this is a good book. You need to get this. If you ain't got this book, you need to get it. Because it tells you when, it got in here, the peak times to meditate, which is usually, they say on Monday at 12 o'clock, midnight. And they give you all the days. Now see, check, because see how, let me see, what are those dates? What are those dates? He got a list of dates. And I think he goes out to, he said that the level, we will be complete with level 3 in 2000 or, but we, just from what he's saying here, we ain't got but like, maybe, a couple of years left. Well, just too damn long to me. This is re-edited. But we'll just move on. But you can understand that here, he's giving you the dates for all 27 lessons when this shit's supposed to break. All right, so based upon his thing. And it's a real good book because, a lot of people have a problem with hallucinogenics and we call psychoactives. And he goes in and shows you the connection with your ancestors, with the Egyptians, what they had to say about the psychoactives. And it talks about how they used the cotton plant, So this is a real good book. If you can get it, you need to get it. So now check. So we understand that El Nino is getting ready to raise the roof off this mother. All right? So now, the thing is what should we be doing now? What should we be doing now? We know these energies are coming. They're coming this time 100-fold. All right? What do we need to be doing? We need to be trying to raise our vibrations. We need to be listening to the inner voice. You understand what I'm saying? Because the inner voice, and when you start listening to the inner voice, you start hearing, I'm sure you all do, you start hearing other voices. And they start telling you stuff. You need to watch. You need to watch what you're listening to. Because some of the voices are going to be dropping you some science, dope-ass science, and some of them are going to be trying to lead you astray. All right? Especially the damn daughter broth, if you understand that concept. Everybody familiar with the daughter broth or the demiurge? That which actually controls this realm? Now, this daughter broth go by many different names. Lucifer, Yahweh, Allah, Jehovah, all these damn religions that steal your soul and steal your spiritual essence by having you look to somebody else to save your own ass. Was the Lord, whether Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, or whoever. This daughter broth, now check, let me explain it like this, because it's the best way I can break this down. Because it's real deep, and it's real metaphysical, it's real heavy. But you need to understand it, because you see what's going on in these churches and shit. Before we even had a concept of time, there's two creations. There's a divine creation, which the Creator created, and then we got this counterfeit creation. Third dimension, illusionary world. Illusion. Illusionary. Okay, illusionary. However. So the illusionary world. Now, what happened? We talk about the great war in heaven. All right, this war between Sirius and Orion. You got to understand this: the Creator. In essence, we think the Creator knows all. He's perfect and all that. No. No. The Creator is just to experience. It creates to try this, try that, try this, try that. One of those experiments it had back in the day, the experiment went beyond its conditions of its boundaries. And it obtained this super badass ego. But all it is just consciousness now. We ain't talking about no being or nothing like that. It just this rabbit-ass consciousness, all right? Demented-ass consciousness got this super-ass ego. It said, shit, I want to be God. So what it did is in a certain region of space, it put up this energy barrier. Make the higher light, to block out the higher light. In essence, we understand the Creator is nothing but infinite light, infinite vibrations. To keep the Creator ass out. And everything that got trapped below here, vibration, got lower and it slowed and lower and lower, till it densified into third dimension. Now, when this happened, in this region of space, it was some true beings, or original people, they got trapped down in there. When this consciousness set this barrier, it said, I'm going to establish my laws, my physics. So it propped up its first law, reincarnation. And those true beings in there, when they started believing in reincarnation, because remember, this shit wasn't meant to die. Your physical body was not meant to die. But when you believe in reincarnation, you what? You died. It set up karma. Ain't no such thing as karma in total reality. You know, karma means good and bad. You sat back and judged what the hell you did. Oh, that wasn't good to me. Shit. If you God, and you walk in light and in spirit, then everything you're going to be doing, you guided by the Spirit. So it don't make no difference what the hell you do. You guided by Spirit. Spirit make you do it. Shit, there's no Spirit. You see what I'm saying? There is no right and there is no wrong. It's just oneness. Oneness. That's what we want to teach you to get, the total oneness. Ain't no such thing as karma. Ain't no such thing as reincarnation. So when we believed in karma, we got trapped by it. When we believed in reincarnation, we got trapped by it. So now check. So we understand what this dog de broth is. This dog de broth also went, okay, now you got to understand, the only way the dog de broth can continue, they put this barrier up here and keep it up, is what? It got to suck the spiritual essence, the juice, out of the two beings that trapped below it. So when you go to a church or a synagogue or whatever, the dog de broth is sapping you. He's sapping your spiritual essence. All right? Then we know that now check, because this is what you got to understand, this is what happened to you. So now check. When they talk about the war in heaven, after this right here happened, the Creator's like, all right, you got all the, all those on his committee. What the hell are we going to do about this? Hey, we're just going to take the shit back. So that's what they did. And it was a war in heaven. It was the war between the Sirius and Orions, the war between Michael and Lucifer. They even tell you in the Bible, they say was it a third or a fifth of the legions in heaven sided with Lucifer. That's a whole lot, ain't it? They was not saying they had a cosmic war. I'm talking about, you think these atom bombs they got ain't shit. Massive cosmic bloodshed. And so they say, ho, back down. Too much cosmic bloodshed. Let that dog have his day. Last time they tried to get at him, what? From the outside in. Creator was like, no. This time we're going to get his ass what? From the inside out. So they said, we're not going to try to go in like this and get him. We're going to get him from in here. Say, y'all's up to y'all down there. And what they did is, over time, the Creator pierced this field with high souls. Just to take lessons. So at a certain time, they wake up and know what they're ready, whose ass to kick. I'm going to promise you, your enemy is not this white man. All right? The element's going to take care of him. They ain't going to be able to handle the high energies. All right? Don't waste no energy with them. You got to understand this. As your vibration grows, you see that you want to tap into the biggest power. The most power out there is what? Love. Love. You ain't got to like nobody to love them. I love these crackers. I don't like them. I do not like their ass. But I do love them. I love everything the Creator created. Even indirectly created. All right? So, the space crackers, who we got to worry about. All right? I'm talking about it's some damn aliens out there who don't like no true beings. They minions of this. The minions, he got minions of all levels. In physical bodies and non-physical bodies. And they feed on what? Fear, hate, anger, war, misery. If our God was so good, why the hell is everybody living such hell? All this funky war going on. Everybody fighting over but nothing. So, the Creator is not in control down here right about now. The dog de broth is, this is his world. That's why you see in a lot of times when they're talking to Jesus, the Pharisees, Jesus said, this is the realm of the devil. I'm not of this world. They were trying to tell you. Don't be of this world. You be in the world, but don't be of the world. Check? You understand what it means now? Be in the world. You trapped down here. But goddamn, don't succumb to its vices. Right? All right, so you got to understand this dog de broth. You understand this concept of who's actually ruling this. So when you go into them churches and, you pray to Allah and all that, as far as I'm concerned, long as you ain't praying to yourself, you're praying to the wrong motherfucker. If you ain't praying to yourself, paying to the wrong individual, a wrong entity. The true God exists within. Everything else out there, I don't even want to see it. I am not even concerned with it. Okay? So now, check. There's one more thing I want to cover here. That is you, dummy. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. My understanding of the counterfeit God is what I would say is what we might consider. Now, you saying that there is no, is there, within your belief, is there a creator?
Oh yes.
There is a creator.
Oh yes. The true so-called God. That's why I don't like to use the term God. God denotes this counterfeit individual. Creator denotes the divine source of all. But what I understand, when I say creator, let's go back to this. Negative and what? Positive. Energy. Great mother. Triple blackness of space. Nothingness. Unmanifested. Positive is creator. Energy. Energy. Circuit. Energy. In actuality, the creator is nothing but this energy transformed into consciousness. That's what spirit is. Energy transformed into consciousness. So that's what your spirit is. And that's why I'm concerned. You can't have but one creator. Oh, okay. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, let me explain that to you. So you can see where all this fits in and where we are. Root races of man. The first root race is what they call the shadows, which is just pure consciousness. That's what she's talking about. Shadows. Just pure consciousness out there. You got some of those shadows feed on hate. Some feed on love. All right? They feed on emotions. That's why we teach you in the course to harvest your own emotions, because somehow they're going to harvest it for you. Same with your energy. If you don't learn to control your energy, somehow they're going to control it for you. All right? The first root race is called the shadows. Second root race is what they call the androgynous / hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodite. You know what I'm talking about. Check. The Baphomet. Everybody familiar with the Baphomet is? Okay. Now check. Let me break this down to you, because you understand who you are. Now, in a good book, the Pharisees referred to Jesus as the devil. Okay? They knew who he was. They referred to him as the devil. Now check. This is why they said that. Jesus, Solomon, and David were of the order of Melchizedek. Same entity, whatever. If you go back to where things really got screwed up, go back to the Greeks. You see Melchizedek, who was also called Pan, who's also referred to as the Baphomet, which is if you see, sometimes you see this image of this, you got horns. Well, Pan is what they call the devil, the horns and the tail. But in actuality, the picture of the Baphomet is you got horns, breast, penis, and these dreadlocks, long dreadlocks. Long dreadlocks, predator. All right, predator looking. All right, and then right above, now see what you see and what he sees is two different things. But right there, if you see the Baphomet, interwoven, the energy pattern of the Baphomet is another image up here that's a real beautiful beautiful image, which you see, but he actually sees the lower image, which is the actual. So part what? Right, what they call a parthenogenic being, meaning it contains both sexes. It can procreate by itself. It ain't got no children. It produces whole beings. All right? And now check, because you can go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. Let us make man in our image, our likeness. Let us make him, semicolon, male and female. One being, two sexes. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand this. A lot of people don't get this. In Genesis chapter 1, it's telling you of the first creation, where the true God creates immortal beings. Chapter 1. Then you go to chapter 2, you're talking about exactly. But they go, chapter 1, they say God this and God that. Then they go to what? Lord God creates this. Lord God creates that. So they tell that right there, tell you. Lord God and God ain't the same. Right. Two creations. Two creations. So when in reference to your, excuse me, brother, because I just reflected on, in reference to your question, there is more than one creator. Yeah, everywhere you look, you see a creator. When you look in the mirror, you see a creator. You understand what I'm saying? Because, but see, the whole key is each of these itty bitty little creators. Cause can't you create a baby? Right? Can't you go out there and put you some thoughts together and say, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make that? So you doing it in essence, we doing the same thing that it's doing, so that it can what? Know itself. It gave all its creative power to us. Ain't shit going on there no more. It's all out here in creation. The only way a creator can know itself is to what? Create. Create. So if you don't create, then what? You're not a creator. So without us, creating ain't shit. You know? Am I lying? All right. So check now. So we check. That's the second root race. The third root race. Now, when these beings right here procreate, they can't make nothing than to create a being. So they can't make a being that's parthenogenic. They make a being that has either the male aspect of it or the female aspect of it, the gods, so to speak. You understand what I'm trying to say? Did everybody get that? When these androgynous beings procreate, it can't not create a being that got both sexes. Only creator could have done that. It could create a being that either got a male sex aspect of it or the female sex aspect of it. But those beings that it created are gods using 100% of their brain. Do so-called miraculous things. Christ consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Is everybody with me? Now, with the flood of Noah, the deluge killed them off. It came about the fourth root race of man. It just so in essence, Noah and his sons were progenitors of the next root race of man, which is us, present man. All right, but you got to understand, this is dying out. We're in the process of becoming the fifth root race of man right now. You understand me? Your DNA in double helix is mutating. Your heads, start looking at your heads. Your heads are mutating. We in essence, and also your organs, all your organs, will start shifting towards the center. We are literally evolving. Fuck a revolution. We're talking about an evolution. You understand what I'm saying? This is what time it is. The Christ consciousness is about a merging of your higher aspect of yourself and the lower aspect of yourself. So your body's going to be tweaked to make some changes. We're going to start to get bigger heads. Look at your children. You start to notice your eye. It started to physically appear. You look at your foreheads, on the sides, those mounds popping up on your temples, starting to pop. You're getting these in your occipital region, big bumps, which is going to be your next chakra, popping it up over. Or you're getting the right here in the ridge, where your soft spot was when you were a baby, that ridge popping up, like a crown, going like this. All right? Start paying attention to your heads. You can physically see yourself mutating. So we are the fifth root race of man. We're getting ready to become the fifth root race. The resurrection of Christ, we're talking about not no 2,000-year-old shit. We're talking about the Christ within, resurrection of the Christ within, as it was in the beginning. Because we need to go right here. It shall be in the end. All right? But that's just a stopping stage, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to be satisfied with this. I'm not. See, I open up to myself to where I remember me as this. And it hurts me to be locked down in this shit. I remember, we're talking about opening yourself up and going to your past lives. I went all the way through my shit before when I was pure consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Most of you don't. And it hurts to be reminded that you locked down in this physical body. But I remember my greatness. That's why I won't be satisfied, even when I use 100% of my brain. I won't be satisfied. All right? So, as it was in the beginning, it shall be in the end. So now check. These are the root races of man. And you can even take it a step further where, like I was trying to talk to some white people, trying to get them to see this, and that even, okay, like check. How we gonna break it down? Because this has a relationship to evolution. So on the evolutionary ladder, you got the creator, second evolution. I said, well, no, this is really the first evolution, second evolution, third evolution, fourth evolution. We, black people are fourth evolutionary beings. We've been around here much longer than the white man. White man came from us. He is him and, all we call the melanin recessives, is a fifth evolutionary being. All right? A fourth evolutionary being and a fifth evolutionary being would never see things the same. They would never see things the same. You understand what I'm saying? They're on a different evolutionary step.